Welcome to the I-League Weekly Roundup show. It's been a while we have talked with each other, and Alvito Dicuna as usual is with us. Welcome again for another interesting episode, I would say, because we are gradually getting closer to the decisive phase of the league with 6 matches remaining for each of the teams. But Alvito, before going into all those discussions about what has happened and what not, right now the title race is getting heated up and Inter Kashi are suddenly on top, and the reason is that Namdhari, they have dropped points, or rather points have been deducted from them. 3 big points. They are down to 7th from 1st. Even Churchill have faced the same, but how big is that?
Yeah, of course, I think that's a big loss for Namdhari. Even a point that Churchill have lost against Aizawl FC, I think that's a big loss. I would really blame the management for this. I mean, this is very small things, but then at this point of time, I think it's very important for the teams not to drop those points. You see, a team that was fighting for the championship, Namdhari, and then suddenly they drops to number 7. Aizawl, they would be the happiest team because they were fighting for the relegation with Delhi FC, and then they're getting these 3 crucial points. But even a point for Churchill, I think that's going to be a big blow for them. But yes, the 6 rounds more, it's going to be really interesting for all the teams. If you see the gap between the top team and even the 6th or 7th team, it's not a huge difference. So I think that's the reason why we say this I-League is one of the most important league, or the interesting league, in fact. So you never know. The team that is on the 6th or 7th in the table can suddenly go up the table within the next couple of matches. But it's really interesting. I think I'm just really waiting to see which team is going to be the champion.
Indeed, I think out of all these situations, Inter Kashi have got a big advantage. We'll get to that. They are on top. They've won their previous match. But who is to blame in this situation for dropping points like that? Because sometimes you are aware of the rules, sometimes you do not really notice it, and then there's the match officials as well. A lot of discussions are going on. Who do you think is to blame?
No, I told you, this is absolutely the management who's to be blamed. And of course, the coach also should be aware of the situations. Like, for example, Churchill fielding a player, I think, who they replaced a foreign player with an Indian player against Aizawl FC. This is what the teams should be knowing. I mean, yes, of course, the coach is sometimes with a mind like, he's focused more on the game, the way the game is going on. But it's the management. So maybe the coach says like, okay, get this guy on the field. But it's the management. They don't have much pressure on them. They are sitting there. The manager has got a big role to play here. But I think that's a silly blunder from them. They should have been aware of the situation. And but quite surprising. I think it's been years that we haven't heard such situations, but then it's really surprising to me. I mean, I don't really know whom to be blamed, but then the management has to be blamed for this.
But certainly a big blow for Namdhari from 1st slipping to the 7th. But of course 6 matches left for each of the teams, as I mentioned. Now the thing is, Inter Kashi are on top, but you also said the points difference is not much. 3 points with the second team, Churchill, and then it's 2-1, 1 and nothing almost. So who do you think is going to win the league at this point of time?
See, right now it looks like Inter Kashi has a very good chance, but then things are not going to be too easy. They're playing Real Kashmir next, and after that they're playing Namdhari, 2 of the teams that have really performed well this season in the I-League. The advantage for Churchill is that they've got a lot of home matches, but then let's not forget the points that they've dropped, especially against Delhi FC. They've lost points to SC Bengaluru. They have lost point to Namdhari FC. So I think this is really going to hurt them very badly. And but then you never know. They're playing Rajasthan United next. So, what matters to them is trying to keep a consistency from now on, because now 6 rounds to go. Any team that loses points is going to be a big blow for them. And Churchill, advantage I say this is because they're playing Inter Kashi at home. But before that, they need to collect all the 3 points in all the matches. Only then they will be able. The biggest another advantage for Churchill is the goal aggregate. So that's in favor of Churchill. I think they are plus 14, wherein Inter Kashi is on plus 9. So which is a huge advantage for Churchill. So but anyways, last couple of matches we have seen Churchill dropping a lot of points at home. So hopefully they can just start, bringing the winning momentum back in them.
I would have just come to the drop of points at home you mentioned. It's not just the points deducted, but what they've done in the previous few matches, Churchill brothers. But Inter Kashi's advantage is that Mario Barco is gradually returning, their last season's top scorer and top provider. And at the same time, Edmund was missing a few games. He had injury concerns. He's also returning. So that is an added boost. But Churchill dropping points against the teams who are fighting relegation, Aizawl FC, Delhi FC. They have drawn both of them. And apart from that, they have also drawn Namdhari. So back-to-back 3 matches, they've dropped points.
Yeah, see, but then, maybe looking at the teams, Churchill fighting for the championship, dropping points to the teams that is fighting for the survival in this league, like Delhi FC, Aizawl FC or Sporting Bengaluru. But then this is why we call this league as the most interesting league, because you never know which team is going to defeat which team. So Delhi, we have seen the performance 2Fs, they made a comeback against Churchill, they drew to Churchill. Sporting Bengaluru equalized in the last minute. Aizawl FC, a crucial point for them, in fact 3 crucial points, away match at home to Churchill Brothers. But then what I feel Interkashi slightly advantage position is because of the experienced players they have in them. Nicola or Johnny Kauko, Mario Barco is back in the squad, Edmund Raldindika, Sumit Pasi, Satak Golai, who they have all the experienced players starting from the goalkeeper in the Bhattacharya, Narayan Das. So they've got huge experience. But then now it's the matter of time, like how prepared are they to win this championship? 6 rounds to go, they know. And this is why the experienced players, they bring a lot of experience in them into the team. Maybe a couple of youngsters along with them, these players, definitely they have a huge advantage. But then they need to take this match by match. If they keep thinking too much about the league, about 6 rounds to go, then I think it's really going to be difficult. It's not only for them, but it's most of the teams as well.
A couple of more questions there, one about a team and one about 2 individuals. There's a lot more of individuals to talk about, but why 2? That is Kletson de Gaulle of Namdhari and Rinzwala of Aizawl FC. We have talked about them a couple of weeks ago as well in our show, how they are the top scorers, and Rinzwala is the top Indian goal scorer with 7 goals to his name, and Kletson had 9 and maybe now 10. But the problem is, with 6 weeks remaining, it's already been 4 weeks ago when they scored the goals. They haven't really fired anymore. They're still stuck out there. What is the problem, and do you think it is a problem?
Yeah, I think it's a long time since they have not scored goals. It's almost a month or more than a month that they have not scored a goal. But yeah, it's sometimes about the players, sometimes about the opponents, how well they read these players. So maybe Namdari's downfall, since they have not been scoring too many goals, they have not been at their best in the last couple of matches. The highest goal scorer, like Kletson, not being at his best in scoring goals. So it's all about sometimes the opponents reading the team, and maybe they've worked on the strength of Kletson or on the Lalan Rinzwala, who has been the highest Indian goal scorer as well as the highest goal scorer for Aizawl FC. But yes, I give credit to the opponents as well, because it's sometimes about you reading the player, in what way is he strong, which are the departments you need to tackle him, in which departments you need to really take care of him. And I think that could be the reason why they have started struggling a bit. But great players, big name players, they will always know how to score goals. If you know that your weakness has been seen by the opponent team, what you need to do is you need to work on something else. So, which I think that is what they're lacking in them.
I think the best part is that they can hold up play, they can combine with the team, so maybe it is a wait of time, we'll find out. But getting to one last question, that is Shillong Lajong. They've always been in the discussion, they've not been able to get out of that championship talks because they've scored a lot of goals, the highest scoring team of the league. But the problem is, back-to-back match weeks, they had a chance to win and go to the top 3, but they did not take it. 6 away matches in a row, that was a tough ask. The first one, a 2-2 draw against Tempo, and then after that, a 2-0 loss against Sporting Bengaluru.
Yeah, I think this is what this league is all about. You never know. You see sometimes the teams, they have a chance to go to the top 2 or the top 3, and then suddenly they slip to number 5 or number 6. And same thing happened with Shillong when they'll beat Srinidhi Dakan at home by 4-0. It looks like, they are one of the contenders to win the league, and then suddenly there was drop of form, drop of points against Dempo at home. Even then they got that equalizer in the last minute, and then the last match, I think SC Bengaluru outplayed them in all the departments. And suddenly they are looking a team which might not even finish in the top 4 or 5. But then this is what Shillong Lajong is all about. I think they are also missing their key striker in the last 3 matches, Tardin, who is one of the good goal scorers as well as who scored a lot of goals for Shillong Lajong. But anyways, we'll have to just wait and watch for the next couple of weeks how things really cope up, how teams are really ready, who wants to win the I-League more. So, interesting weeks ahead of us.
Absolutely, we'll get all the answers gradually, but keep watching because the team scoring 36 goals in 15 can be restricted by the team at the bottom half. Along with that, the teams at the bottom can snatch points from teams like Interkashi and Churchill Brothers. So stay tuned, keep watching the I-League at SSEN.